it's me, Teresa Phelps Martin. Oh, shoot, I gotta do something, you guys. Apologize. Technicality. It's kind of funny, all of this, really. This whole virtual world we're in, and I'll just be true. I am happy to show up, always, even if there's discomfort. The practice I taught, true story, it's a subtle flow that actually allowed so much to settle for me. And then physical therapy also helped. So good news, and this will lead into grounding the light. Because you care, because I care, and we do this to take care. If I was to scale my comfort level, 10 being highly uncomfortable, 1 being pretty smooth, I'm at a 3. It's amazing. That fluctuation of discomfort versus comfort is part of our truth, right? I think about it, like maybe it's physical, maybe it's mental, maybe it's emotional, maybe it's spiritual. And it's just a dance, right? Like it's always fluctuating. And so we're in this, it's cosmically, and just by the way, I feel like I should be transparent. The way I know what to talk about is what's going on in the sky. It is the framework that gives me the container to articulate what's coming through. Being Gemini, that Gemini energy can be very scattered. Fluttery, right, is a better word than scattered. And if you've ever hung out with me in real time, you know I can talk, which is funny because for a long time I didn't. So when we look to the skies, it's just my way. Everybody has a framework, right? I know some of you use Myers-Briggs. Some people use the Enneagram. Some people use tried and true evidence-based practices. Believe it or not, the skies hold evidence-based. It just hasn't been put to the scrutiny of our modern technology, although it's been put to the scrutiny of humanity over time. So what we have is the vibrancy of the sun that illuminates, even though it's cloudy today. We know the day started because the earth turned and it appeared the sun was rising. We live by the sky. We do. Every day. So what happens is we get stuck in just the sun. Where's the sun? Is the sun rising? Is it low on the horizon? Is it high? Is it high noon? How many Western movies or stories have you ever heard or listened to, or even just, it was over here on the sideline about high noon? There's a lot of potency to high noon and midnight, right? Isn't it like the spooky stories is midnight? Right? And the battles or the one-on-one showdown is high noon. So we live by the sun. We do. It regulates everything we do. Right now, the sun is in Libra. And Libra really is that idea of what is setting. Okay? The integration. Who comes to the end of the day and goes, whew, that sun sets, and we know we prepare for the other half. Eat dinner. Get together as a family, if you have family. Call a friend. Maybe you go out for drinks or go out for a meal. There's a gathering of your personal affairs and then putting them to rest, ideally. Right? Not all of us live by this. Some of us go to work when the sun sets. So this idea, this archetype, or this symbol is true for everyone. And in that truth, We want to honor how important that darkness is. Okay? So the other energy we have is Earth and fixed Earth, which is Taurus, which is where the moon is as I'm recording this on October 21st, 2021. And the whole idea is Soulfully You isn't me, making like crazy darkness and trying to be witchy. It's just being real. Real life, real story, real person, really living the best you can. So it becomes applicable, accessible, and inclusive. So with that, when we have this energy, it's really about stability and steadiness and anchoring, grounding, like just that idea of steadfast. It's where when the Aries energy, the full moon that just happened, is about the rising, the starting of the day, beginning anew. It's the innocence. And what it is that then we give form to the innocence. So we ground the light. How are we going to do that on our mat? We're actually going to do a practice that honors that initiatory air energy. Breathing in life to the darkness. Real quick, the darkness is not bad. We have just labeled it as bad. We have just said that the sanctuary of the soul sits buried deep within. The treasure of you is hidden in the cellular nature of you. That's not bad. What happens is when those labels get projected and we take it as truth. So if we're in this great undoing and unraveling to awaken, and if you're not getting me, read my blog post. If you get my email, I don't think I put the link, so I apologize. I haven't checked on anything. It's just what my intuition's telling me that I forgot, which is fine. It's on my website, The True Story. And it's really about the soul strife. And that's another conversation. Grounding our light. So you can help understand what all of this is by reading that blog. And I always add the soul scopes. The soul scopes are there as using this framework of new and full opposition, this cyclical dance to help us find our own rhythm. And if we can find our rhythm, not just in our mind and in our breath and when we get on our mat, but in our lives, we create a method that tends to our soul on a daily basis. That's the idea, all right? And as we tend to our souls on a daily basis, then what we have to do is embrace the fluctuation that we see with day and night. Not about making it all good, but recognizing the goodness, working the energy. So let's work it. If we have air, initiatory air, cardinal air, leadership, emerging, right? Then it's really the bargaining. Then we have this sort of steady, foundational, fixed sustenance of earth. And they seem to oppose each other, right? They seem opposition. But really, it's a subtlety that just you can't ignore, all right? So in that, we're going to feel the body holding the container of the soul and allowing that energy, your divine spark, your essence, to fluctuate within. That's what we're going to do. We're still in this full top of the inhale sort of energy, which is also Libra, by the way. It's that top of the breath, that full illumination, like you've lived your life, you've lived the day, you've allowed the breath to fill you completely, not just staying up here, but deep within, and then you can turn. And when you become aware of this rhythm, Then when you're like, it's at the top of the roller coaster ride, like the and then you scream, woo, and then you go down. And then what do? Like every kid, let's do it again. And that's the dance, all right? So we're gonna start, even though we're at this peak energy, we're turning away from the sun, like the moon's like, oh, I got as far away from you as I could. You brought forward illumination. My job was to fertilize the darkness, to awaken what was unseen, and at time a mystery, that now I get to go and come back home, right? When the moon has been full and it turns out of that fullness and it goes the rest of the way around the track, if you will, is to come back to the finish line, which is also the starting. Okay, talked way more than I intended, but it's hard for me not to share. So Lulu is here with socks. She loves socks. We're gonna start standing in the middle of our mat, okay? Really honoring where we're headed, where we've been. I'm going to interlace fingers, hands on the heart. As you close your eyes, you want to feel your feet on the ground, right? So sense them. Breathe in. Notice the aroma of the space. Hopefully you like the way the world smells around you. What's really powerful about Taurus, the Taurus archetype and energy, is sensuality, our senses. The experiential part of this material world. So breathe here, 3 breaths. Call on the highest. Bring a circle of divine love and light. And draw it around you and your bodies, calling in protection, safety, security. Honor your own intention, your own inner agency, and that you hold a responsibility to choose accordingly. Big, gracious breath in. Pause at the top of the inhale and just let your elbows widen. Feel that expansion on the horizon. And then as you exhale, draw your shoulders into your back, anchor your tail, and lift through the crown of the head. Let the palms turn up. Offer the hands up overhead. Arms go wide, come to your side. Palms forward, shoulders to the back. Lift up through the roof of the mouth. Anchor the pubic bone in the tail. Push through the feet. 3 breaths here. Draw in through the core. Hug into that midline and reconnect to your center. And as you're centered, hinge at the hips, fold forward all the way down to the earth. Relax the neck and jaw. Hands to your shins, inhale, find length, and then pause here. As you pause, pull into the center, draw into that core. So I just really want us to feel our physicality to ground that light, and then as you exhale, bow. Now you may need to bend your knees a lot here to bring your hands to the earth. I want you to make domes with the hands, lift and spread your toes. Knees are bent, belly's lifted, heart soft. 3 breaths here. Listen to the wisdom of your being. And then inhale, you're going to walk your hands forward. Walk your feet back. And as you're in downward dog, connect to the strength
in your hands, your forearms, your arms, shoulder blades integrate into the heart. Draw the ribs towards your hips, the front body as well as the back body. Hug your outer hips towards your tail and stretch your heels towards the earth. And then exhale the knees to the ground. Move all the way back into child's pose and rest. 3 breaths. Breathing into the back body. From the earth, push into the ground. Inhale, come standing on your knees, shoulders drawn to the back. Lift through the roof of the mouth, open the heart. Breathing here. Inhale the arms up overhead. Hands come down, back to the earth. Into that table pose, toes tucked, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Feel just that steady, slow, connected, strong, grounding that light. Walk your feet to the middle of the mat. Hands walk back to the feet. Find your fingertips and bow. Shoulders are on the back, belly's lifted. The knees can be soft, the throat is soft. Inhale, find length. Pause in that length. Keep the belly lifted, legs hugging in, shoulders to the back. By the way, this is a very hard practice to do virtually, so you have to really move into your being. Hands come to your heart. Carry that energy that you've planted up with you. Palms are up. Feel the breath. Hands come and rest on the heart. 3 breaths here. Standing at the top. Release the hands by your sides. Find that length, so you feel the front body moving towards the ground, the back body moving towards the ground, but you also feel a buoyancy in the upper body. Lift through the roof of the mouth, shoulders are to the back. 3 breaths here. You should feel your core, your glutes, your quads. Everything's engaging. Arms rise up overhead. Find that lift, opening the heart. And then exhale, arms go wide by your sides. Hinge at the hips, fold, pause halfway. Breathe life in to this midpoint. And then exhale all the way down. 3 breaths here. Hands walk forward. Feet walk back. And then exhale your knees to the earth, all the way back. Child's pose. What are you awakening to? What are you rising up to? Inhale, come all the way up. Feel a reawakening. Shoulders to the back. Feeling the connection to your breath, your being. Inhale the And then release. Hands come to the ground. They're out in front of you. Come onto your hands and knees. Tuck your toes. Downward dog. Walk your feet forward to your hands back to your feet. Bowing in, not trying to go deep, but really trying to be aware. If you're going to ground your light, you're going to find things you don't like. It's not going to always be dressed in the alignment I offer. The practice is for you to get to know your truth. And your truth is the same as mine and completely different. Inhale up halfway. And then arms go wide this time, all the way up standing. Bring the hands to heart. Just feel each time, we're doing this one more time, just slow motion flow. Really connected, engaged, you're working the energy in your physical body, but very much aware to the subtleties. Inhale from your heart, arms rise up overhead. Feel that lift, that opening. And then arms sweep by your side, shoulders to your back, open the heart. Lift through your core, exhale, bow. I know I didn't pause halfway. It didn't feel right last time. Inhale, come up halfway. And then exhale. Hands walk forward, feet walk back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. So in this flow, right, that subtlety is what I was reminded of in the true story practice. How healing and clarifying it can be, because it's slowing down enough, but we're also engaging, we're integrating. Exhale the knees to the earth and move back, child's pose. Resting all the way to the earth. The contrast is the secret ingredient. Push the legs to the earth. Inhale, rise up. Arms by your sides. Inhale the arms up overhead. Hands come to your heart and down to the earth. Table pose. Exhale back, downward dog. Walk your feet up the mat halfway and hands walk back. You probably notice how hooked you are to come all the way to the top edge of the mat, meet in the middle. Bow. Inhale, come up halfway. Pause. Regroup. Return. Arms go wide. Inhale, the arms up overhead. And then arms reach wide again. Bring the hands to your own heart. And as you start anew, right? We just did 3 rounds of that salutation, honoring the movements and engaging with it so we can ground it, ground our light, ground our truth. You're gonna release your hands. You probably don't have a Lulu on your mat, but step the right foot forward and then just pick the left knee up. I want you to bend both knees, pull into that center. So it's kind of like you're thinking dancer pose, but you're not dancing into dancer pose. Pull in, draw in. I want you to feel the shoulders to the back, lead from the inner thighs, glide the foot back into warrior 1. Foot grounds down, so the elbows are bent, the core is engaged, the heart's lifted and open. Full breath in. And a full breath out. And then you're gonna lunge forward, pick the knee up, fall over, pulling in. And then again, exhale, the foot's gonna glide back. Heel's gonna root down, press into the earth. Inhale, feel the breath, the opening of your heart, the connection to just grounding that light. And then lunge forward, feel lift. Feel that opening as if you're doing dancer pose, we're not. And then glide it all the way back. Heel roots, heart's open. And then inhale, rise up. Feel that lift. Feel that energy of the inner thighs kicking back, but so are the outer hips. The belly is turning in, but the ribs are drawing into the body as well. The back body, the shoulders, I should say. And then you're gonna feel, I'm falling over. You're gonna feel lift and step over to the left foot. Pull back into that center. Drawing in. I know I'm cut off on the camera, oh well. Hug in, realign, regroup. Feel the opening and then glide the foot back. Lunge into it. Inhale the foot forward. Feel the opening. And then exhale, glide the foot back. Shoulders are on the back. They're engaged. Heart's open. Lunge forward. Rise up. Feel a lift. Exhale. Glide back. Inhale, rise up. Gliding back. So you're feeling how heavy and dense you are, but how buoyant and light. Inhale, rise up. Here we are. You're gonna now step the right foot back to the side. Bring the left foot with it. Inhale, the arms sweep up overhead. Hands come together, connect to that midline, draw into your core, bend that left arm so you can stretch up and in, bring the right arm forward, shoulders draw back, lift up, reach over to the right. And then inhale, come up through the center. It's just slow motion yoga today. Hug up into the center, find that length. Bend the right elbow, left elbow comes forward, arm bones plug in, make the connection, ground into your own reality, lift up and stretch over to the left. Inhale up through the center. Yes, we're gonna do it 2 more times. Find length. So I'm offering this variation. Left arm, you gotta stretch up through the inner being. So you brighten the inner body, you awaken to it. The right elbow comes forward and then you engage, you plug in, you give form to that light. Anchor it to the earth, and then allow it to expand organically, because that's what soul energy is. It's all organic. Find length, open up. Inhale up through the center, arms rise. Right arm comes down, rise up, left elbow comes forward. You plug in, anchor, ground, and then expand. Each side, I feel like we have to do it one more time. I don't think we've done it 3 times. I could be wrong. Right elbow comes forward, plug in, lift up, reach over. So this way you're not collapsing into your life. You're really grounding it in. You're feeling the container of your being. Awake, alive, present, breathing, steady, steadfast, able to integrate into all the parts of you. It becomes a moving meditation where we're highly present, centered, grounded. Arms go overhead, big full breath in. Feel the connection, open the heart. And then inhale from the back of the heart up, arms go wide. Bend your knees, elbows to your thighs. Palms are up. Feel the connection to your breath. The drawing in of energy all the way up into the heart. Stabilizing. And then you're going to come onto the balls of the feet. So your heels come up, you come seated, hands rest in your lap. It's like it's doing a toe stand, but it's not a hard toe stand. Hands are in the lap, ribs are drawing in, shoulders are to the back, so there's a little bit of balance. Just wait. Now, this is going to be hard, okay? So in knowing that, notice what just the reaction you had in your body. So now I want you to respond, because that's your responsibility, is how you respond. Thighs move back, draw into the core. You're going to rise up, right heel roots, left knee lifts, foot comes to the upper inner thigh. Arms go wide into tree pose. So arms are on the horizon. Feel the connection to your breath. And then you're going to exhale, bend the knee. Left leg crosses over. Left elbow comes underneath. Eagle pose. However you want to twist yourself up. And then unravel both legs. Feet come to the ground. Arms rise high. And then you're going to exhale, bend the knees. Left elbow comes over to the right knee. So you're going to twist. Inhale, come through the center. And then bring your elbows to your thighs. Draw into the core. And then you're going to come all the way down. Whoop. Pausing, breathing. So, please know, the creativity of this flow can make it highly inaccessible. So you've just seen the circuit that we're gonna drive through. There's twists and turns. You have to stay steady and trust your inner guidance. Okay? So you're gonna feel that energy, gather the energy, allow for the buoyancy as you come all the way up. Right knee comes with you. Grab the foot to your upper inner thigh. Arms move out to the sides and open up. Smile if you can. You're going to draw in, Bend both knees, legs cross. Right elbow comes under the left. Eagle pose, Gurdasana, you're perched. Unravel the legs. Inhale all the way up. Arms sweep high so you feel your feet again. And then exhale through the midline. Right elbow, left knee into whatever this pose is called. Parvrita Utkatasana. Inhale, come back through the center. Elbows rest on the thighs. Connect to the breath. So by resting on our thighs, right, this is the huddle pose. Yes, it's intense. It requires work, but it's stabilizing. Heels come up. Sit all the way back. Feel the connection to your breath. And now you're going to open your knees wide. Bring your elbows in. Heels are up. And then bring your hands down to the earth. Lulu. Lulu is co-teaching this class, by the way, because she's on my mat. It's creating the flow. Hands are going to reach out in front of you. Hips stretch back. Soften the area in the shoulders. And now you're going to bring your knees forward. Toes are tucked. Sit back on your heels. Yes, it's intense. Really, really grounding, right? Major work of the feet. Notice where that tension is coming internally, right? So what you want to do is breathe and feel that lightness internally. You're going to lean forward, hands come forward, all the way back, downward dog. Inhale to your hands and knees, and come all the way to your belly. I'm not going to disrupt the sleeping beauty, but you can chaturanga all the way down. I'm not chaturangaing anyways, because it's not helping my neck. And then once you come all the way down, come onto your back. You can also transition just like I did. Right? Now, we have spent the whole practice being upright, balancing on one foot. This is the first time we've come lying down, and if you transition like I did, we've had no time on our belly other than child's pose. So here we are, on our backs. I want you to stretch your arms out from your shoulders like a T. And roll your knees to the left, gaze to the right. Big full breath in, big full breath out. Inhale your knees through the center, over to the right, gaze to the left. Inhale, come all the way back through the center. Arms are going to come by your sides. You can bend your elbows or keep the arms long. Feet are going to be underneath your knees, in line with your hips. Shoulders drawn to the back. Inhale, rise up into bridge pose. Exhale your hips all the way back down. Come all the way to the ground until you release. Feet ground down. Inhale up into bridge pose. And then exhale. I want you to feel as you're coming down that there's a softness. There's a buoyancy that when you land, it's not hard and disruptive. It's gentle and kind. You're grounding your light. Feet ground down. Inhale. The hips are buoyant. The throat's open. The shoulders are in the back. And then exhaling. All the way back down to the earth. Land completely. I'm going to do the left ankle. You can do the right. Inhale. The right foot up into this little chair, reclined chair pose. Exhale the right foot to the ground, or whatever foot you lifted. Cross the legs. Hips are going to move over to the left. Arms go wide. Knees roll to the right. 3 breaths here. Exhale out completely. Inhale your knees to the center. Bring your hips back to the center. You're going to stretch your left leg out long. And then you're going to slowly float the left leg down. And then inhale, bring the left foot back up. Okay, you can do this with a bent knee too. Exhale, keep the left hip heavy. Core is tight, shoulders are grounded. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, tapping, almost tapping. Inhale, lifting. And then bring the knee in, return the foot to the earth. Settle the pelvis and the hips. Right ankle or just switch sides. Inhale the foot up. Threes are numbered today. Exhale the foot to the earth. Legs cross. Hips lift up and move to the right. Knees roll over to the left. Inhale the knees back through the center. Unravel. Hips come back to the middle. Leg lifts up. So you're going to plug the thigh in. Engage the core. You're going to exhale. The leg floats to the ground. Inhale it back up. Exhale it floats. Inhale it back up. Once it rises, then you're going to bend the knee, bring both both feet to the ground. Adjust your shoulders, your head, your hips. Soles of the feet can come together, knees can fall open or go the other way. Feet go wide, knees come together. Connect to your breath, your inner being. And then slide your legs out long. Come all the way into the earth. Settle completely. Breathe into your being. Allow the head to be heavy, the arms, the jaw, the hips, the legs. There's been a steadiness to our rhythm, serenity, if you will, a tranquility. A sensuality, because we've connected to our beingness. So be with your breath. Be with your brilliance. Be with all that you've been and continue to become. Enjoy a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Through the deepening, feel an enlivening. A reawakening, grounded in your light. Wiggle the toes and the fingers. You're going to bend your knees and roll over to one side. And then slowly come up into the comfort of your seat. Sitting with your truth. Allowing it to be, settle into your hips, your tail, your pubic bone. Allow there to be a freedom in the neck and the jaw. Thanking yourself. Connecting to the lightness that has expanded. This is a subtle practice that holds potency. And I know it's hard to do virtually, but you're here, you arrived, you chose to follow it all the way through. This is that moment right before we wake up. And as you awaken, allow your head to bow. Let your palms turn up. Thank you for breathing with me, and I'll continue to breathe with you. However this finds you, live, replay, little tidbits, I appreciate you. I appreciate my discomfort for reminding me of how profoundly healing the non-aggressive practices can be. And if you're still listening, thank you. I think we're all hungry, including myself, for that hit of intensity, that hit of knowing we're strong and we have the capacity. Sure, we've all are out of whack, right? Weight gain, weight loss, job loss, losing people, losing communities, losing connection. We're out of whack. But I also want you to pause and notice what you have reconnected with. And I'm just adding a little extra time to say thank you, because in my undoing, it brought me back to what it is that I know I can do, right? And it's just so important to reframe what we do have, what our dreams we're wanting to expand, and how, as we ignite this new circuit, because believe it or not, this full moon in Aries was a new opportunity. So thank you. I appreciate you. And this is me signing off. Yoga Soul Flow. And however you flow and however you be, just continue to be yourself. And I will continue to be real and be true and be soulfully you with you.